Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to take a little bit of a look at a few new cards. A Garchomp that makes me sad, but a Magmortar and an Electivire, and we all know by now they cannot get along. But I want to start off with this Garchomp because it makes me sad. Kind of mad a little bit. All translators I should mention from the lovely Antoine Boulet. Antoine Boulet is a particular favourite of ours. So Garchomp then, we got 160 HP, which is alright. It's what we expect on a stage 2. No weakness, because it's a dragon Pokemon, which is nice. Retreat cost of 1 I'm not loving, purely because we've seen free retreat Garchomp in the past. But we can't have everything, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure we'll survive. And we have here a really nice ability. What we've got is when you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may prevent all effective attacks, including damage, from your opponent's attacks done to this Pokemon until the end of your opponent's next turn. Which is clearly a brilliant ability. You evolve up into Garchomp and you get a turn of complete and utter immunity. Which is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And incidentally, not the first time we've seen this ability. Does anybody remember the Lucario from Burning Shadows? Yeah, Lucario from Burning Shadows had this exact same ability. And was a stage 1. And didn't really see much play. And the reason is extremely simple. Lucario had a bad attack. Stage 1 was good, bad attack. What you really want here is it has so much potential. You have the Pokemon in the active, you chain this ability so you're constantly getting immunity, and then you are just constantly getting immunity, using a good attack, and off you go and win. But that's not what Lucario did, and it's not what Garchomp does. Now, firstly, you're a stage 2, and that's a problem. Scoop Up Net is absolutely in the format at the moment. Yay! But unfortunately, you're a stage 2. And a lot of the time with stage 2s, we really want to use rare candy to get ourselves up and rolling a little bit faster. Go straight from the basic into the stage 2. Using your rare candy, jobs are good and yay. Problem is, if I use Scoop Up Net after having used rare candy, I now need another rare candy if I'm actually going to get back into the stage 2, which is frankly not realistic. Which means what you really need to do is go through the stage 1 into the stage 2. And we've done it before. We had the Gabite from Dragons Exalted, which would let you, well, it had that brilliant ability, you could search for a dragon every turn. So essentially, you'd get your 4 Gibble out turn 1, and then 1 Gabite would get the 2nd Gabite, would get the 3rd Gabite, would get the 4th Gabite, would get something else, and then next turn, each Gabite searched for a Garchomp, and you were off. But firstly, they really let you go through each other really quickly by just searching each other out. And secondly, you had a really good single energy Garchomp, which was good. Yeah, so the ability is hard to chain being a stage 2 Pokemon. And now when we look at the attack's not good enough because it's a dragon Pokemon. And unfortunately, what we find here is, like we see so often, the attack cost isn't viable. Oh, water fighting energy, 160. No! It's not good enough. Firstly, 160 is 20 damage away from getting a one-hit KO on something like a Crobat and a Kricketune, which you know by now is always my, low bar of how much damage I want to do. And secondly, look, if we still had double dragon energy in the format, then I would be able to go, well, you can pay it for a single energy. If this did 180 damage and we had double dragon energy in the format, I would go, single energy, 180, get a KO on those Pokemon. Okay, fine. But we don't have double dragon energy in the format. And it doesn't do 180, it does 160. And that's why this Garchomp makes me sad. I love Garchomp. I bubbled cut at a large European regional with the Garchomp from Breakpoint, which nobody thought was good, just because I really wanted to play that Garchomp, and it actually had some really good matchups. I love Garchomp. This one's not good enough. I'm sorry, it's just not. Boo! The good news is we can go on and look at Magmortar and Electivire, and we're going to start with Electivire. Unfortunately for Garchomp, they did not reveal the pre-evolutions, I'm sorry, but for Electivire they did, and it's an Okacheke one. It's an Okacheke Electabuzz, and it's just, like, there is, and I know this sounds ridiculous, and I'm sorry. I know it just sounds like every time I see Okacheke as the artist, I start saying about how good the card is, but it's not just that. I didn't see the Okacheke on the Electabuzz, I just saw the artwork. There has never been an artist in or out of Pokemon that has just affected me in the way that these Okacheke cards do. They are things of absolute wonder. I love them so much. I adore this Electabuzz. I'm not a huge Electabuzz fan. He's fine. But all of a sudden now, this is one of the best artworks I've seen in years. And I know I say that every time I see a new Okacheke card, and I'm sorry. I don't know what they're doing with their artwork, but goodness gracious me, I hope they continue to do these cards for years. Incidentally, the Electabuzz isn't a good card. You flip a coin, and if heads paralysis on the first attack, which I totally translated myself, and then checked against Green and V to make sure, and it's totally the same, and I'm honestly a bit proud of myself for that one. And then we've got 2 energy, 30 damage. It's not a good card, alright? The 80 HP on a basic Pokemon is nice. Electabuzz tends to have higher HP generally, but I don't think, you know, that the artwork is absolutely over the top beyond stunning. I don't think it's worth getting excited about, though. Yeah. At least terms of playability. As for the Electivire, and this is the part where I'm afraid I have to go back to the lovely Antoine Boulet for our translation. Electivire here, what we've got is 140 HP, which is kind of high for a stage 1, which is quite nice. And what we've got is single energy, 30 damage. If Magmortar is on your bench and has any damage counters on it, this does 90 more damage. And on the one hand, I like this. You know, 120 for a single energy. But on the other hand, we're talking 120 for a single energy if you've got a specific Pokemon on your bench and that Pokemon is damaged. I mean, come on! No. If you're hitting for weakness, it'll get Pokemon V, and it's a single energy, which is nice. But does anybody think this is really going to be a nice, just good one to use? And look, we can damage our own Pokemon easily enough. We've got Old Cemetery, which will do it. That's the one where you attach an energy to a non-psychic Pokemon, and you take a damage. And Spikemuth is still in the format for until September, August time. So if you move to the bench, you could put 2 damage counters. Self-damage is something we can do. I just don't know why we want to do it here. We've then got free energy, 50 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. I actually really like doing 50 damage to each of my opponent's Pokemon. I like 50 damage spread. 50 damage spread is good. And sure, the energy, you can use Flaffy, but we know that Flaffy decks are not that great at the moment, which is a bit of a problem. And don't forget the Telescopic Sight is still here, so it won't actually be 52 Pokemon V, including V Star and V Max. It will actually be 80, but I still don't care. Free energy on a stage 1 is too much. And I know 140 is high for a stage 1, but you're still not going to survive all that long. And we're back in that awkward situation where, nah. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry. Moving over into Magmortar, we still got 140 HP, which is nice. And you got 2 energy, 50 damage, which I don't think anybody's getting excited about. That's terrible on a stage 1. But then we've got 2 fire, 1 colorless energy. And if Electivire is on your bench, you do 120 more damage. Now, this I can get behind a lot more, because now you're doing 240 damage, you're destroying Pokemon V generally, and you're destroying Pokemon V Max that are weak, which is nice, and you've got to have Electivire on your bench, which isn't the end of the world. It's just the energy. The thing is, we used to have Welder, so you would be able to welder 2 energy on, attach the 3rd, and off you go. Now, let's not forget, we are getting a Stadium in Brilliant Stars, which, that's not the same, but it will help to bridge the gap a little bit. It's Magma Basin, lets you attach a fire energy to one of your bench fire Pokemon and put 2 damage counters on them. It's alright. although you will still need deferred energy, but we're still in that situation where the energy isn't quite that easy to get on, and now you've got to have Electivire on your bench. And are we really saying there's no better way to get KOs on Pokemon V? Maybe there is. Maybe there isn't, but it's just... both of these Pokemon, and Garchomp to be honest with you, it all just seems like they're making us work too hard. Electivire, maybe with Flaffy and Telescopic Sight, but I don't think it's ever going to really work. And Magmortar, maybe if you can get the energy on and Magma Basin's good enough. But I do worry at the moment, ladies and gentlemen, that all of these are just, hey, there's loads of potential, but they're never actually going to work. But if nothing else, come on, that Okacheke Electabuzz is just amazing. Maybe it's just me, maybe other people don't like their art style as much. Oh my goodness, I do, I'm obsessed, I love it. Hey ho. Oh, hang on a second, we have seen Magmar and haven't shown it to you yet. We should have a little bit of a gander. Now in terms of the card itself, 90 HP is quite nice for a basic, 2 energy 20 is not good, and 3 energy 70 damage is not good, right? Let's just get that out of the way straight away. What is interesting about this new Magmar is that it is the debut card by a new artist. This is the first time that Shinji Kanda has actually gone and illustrated a card for the Pokemon TCG. I checked with the lovely Primal Lugia, who has gone and confirmed that it is a new artist. So this is really, really cool. There are shades of Kamiya for those of you who are a fan of that artist in here. It's not my preferred style personally, but that doesn't really matter. The more different cool artists we get, the more fun we can all have admiring the lovely artwork. So yeah, not a good card, but cool new artist. Oh my yes. Right, I want to hear from you guys, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you think about all 3 of these cards in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.